I imagine you've had to develop, your creative folks have become much more agile in the way that they create content, right?
Yeah, they've had to, especially with COVID. Our team has understandably been hamstrung because they haven't been able to be in house. They haven't been at their studio. So you'll see a lot of our content over the last couple months has been shot at home. It's been shot with mobile phones. It's been what's considered lo-fi. I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but lo-fi video is really, I would say, the last couple of years. Huge brands like media brands like BuzzFeed have done a lot of that type of work
What is lo-fi
effectively,
video?
and it's really how they've built their media empire is off a more accessible, authentic type, approachable type of video where mistakes are made in the video, like right now, for example, like live type streams, and that's okay. It's okay to not be perfect, and it's okay because what none of us as human beings are, right? And I think that's a key piece here, and it's scary for some brand teams to cross that bridge and to talk them over the bridge and say, what, and the way you do it is through data, and you say, here's video in testing, here's video A, here's video B. This one was more polished and I would say more traditional. This one was done by the social media team with their cell phone.
Right.
Here's the data.
Here's the click-through rate.
Whatever it is, or impression reach, depending on the channel it's distributed on, because that's a big push for us, for the brand, because we haven't done a lot of advertising historically. A lot of people don't know about Wilton, especially on the consumable side. We're not in the big channels like grocery as much. We're more in craft and more in mass, and pretty big, obviously direct and through Amazon. But that's part of my mission, is to get this brand out in a very mindful, smart, efficient, especially as far as paid media goes, where you have to invest. You don't want to double down on a bad investment. So just making sure you do it really smartly and pace it smartly so it supports the products. That's one of the challenges with COVID right now too. It's not just the front end, meaning what does your creative look like? The timing, the pacing, just how everything works together. It's the back end, because there's been so much demand. Especially for our product, with COVID, that can we even fulfill, which is a good problem to have. It's better than having too much you can't, inventory burning a hole in your pocket. But so that's a whole nother, I'd say, factor in the equation, is like, okay, well, I could sell it through the roof right now, but can we fulfill it? What's the user experience like, right? Which is king. User experience is king, right? And what kind of user experience are we creating? And that's where I think that the brands that understand that separate themselves a whole nother league from the brands that don't.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the LA Business Podcast. If you like what we're doing on this podcast, please consider subscribing on Apple or Google Play, leaving a 5-star review, and sharing with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations for a guest you'd like to hear on this podcast, please email me, robert@brillmedia.co. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.